Some people walk into a room and chaos follows them. Other people walk into the same chaos and nothing sticks to them. They get insulted and it slides off. They get betrayed and they don't unravel. They lose everything and somehow they're still standing, still sharp, still themselves. You've seen these people. Maybe you've envied them. And the lie you've probably told yourself is that they got lucky, easier lives, easier people, easier problems. They didn't. What they have is a trained mind, and you don't. Right now, a stranger's opinion can wreck your whole day. A single text message can hijack your mood for hours. One bad meeting and you're replaying it at 2 a.m. That's not sensitivity. That's a mind nobody has ever trained. A mind wide open, unguarded, controllable by literally anyone who bothers to poke it. In a world engineered to trigger you, distract you, and provoke you for profit, the person who owns their own mind owns everything. So here are 10 laws. Not tips, not hacks, laws. Old ones, forged by men who buried children, lost fortunes, and were exiled by emperors, and still didn't break. Apply them, and you won't just feel better. You'll become someone different, someone harder to shake. Let's get into it. Law 1. Live in the gap. Between the thing that happens and the thing you do about it, there's a gap. Most people don't know it exists. It's a fraction of a second, easy to miss, and almost everyone skips straight through it. Someone cuts you off in traffic, gap skipped, horn already blaring. Someone snaps at you in a group chat, gap skipped, thumbs already typing the comeback. A plan collapses, gap skipped, panic already setting in. The gap is where your entire life actually gets decided, and almost nobody uses it. Picture 2 trees in the same storm. One is a sapling with shallow roots. It bends violently with every gust, snaps in the wind, gets thrown around by forces it never agreed to. The other is old, deep-rooted, ancient. The same wind hits it, and it barely moves. Not because the wind is gentler on it, because it built roots the sapling never bothered with. You are not the sapling by nature. You've just never planted roots. Here's the practice. The next time something hits you, an insult, bad news, a setback, count to 5 before you do anything. Not to suppress the feeling. Feel it fully. But don't let the feeling drive the car. Ask yourself one question in that gap. Am I about to react, or am I choosing to respond? That single habit, repeated enough times, rewires you. You stop being a leaf in the wind. You start being the tree. Law 2. The story isn't the same as the event. Here's a sentence that will save you years of suffering if you actually absorb it. You are almost never hurt by what happens. You're hurt by the meaning you assign to it. Someone leaves your text on read. That's the event. Full stop. Everything after that, they're mad at me. They don't respect me. I did something wrong. That's not the event. That's a story you wrote in about 4 seconds and then chose to believe. Think of a clean pane of glass. Light passes through it, untouched, unchanged. Whatever color it is stays that color. Now think of a stained glass window. The exact same light hits it and comes out red or blue or distorted, colored by whatever's baked into the glass. Most people are stained glass. Every neutral event gets colored by old wounds, insecurities, assumptions, before it even reaches them. Practice separating the two, out loud if you have to. Here is what happened. Here is the story I'm choosing to add on top of it. Just naming it breaks its grip. Once you can see the glass is tinted, you can start seeing the light for what it actually is. Law 3. Guard your attention like a locked vault. Nobody drains you all at once. It's never one catastrophe. It's 1,000 tiny leaks. The argument you didn't need to have, the 15 minutes lost to a stranger's opinion online, the coworker who vents at you every single morning, the doom scroll before bed. None of these register as damage in the moment. That's exactly why they work. You don't notice a slow leak in a tire until you're already stranded. Your attention is the most valuable thing you own, and you're currently handing it out for free to anyone who asks. A river that gets dammed builds pressure and power. A river that's allowed to spread into 100 tiny streams turns into a swamp, shallow, stagnant, going nowhere. Before you engage with anything, a conversation, an argument, a notification, ask one question. Is this worth my energy? Most of the time, the honest answer is no. Say no more. Watch how much sharper, calmer, and more powerful you feel within a week of actually doing this. Law 4. Expect nothing. Prepare for everything. Frustration has one root cause almost every time. Reality didn't match the picture in your head. You expected fairness. You got politics. You expected loyalty. You got betrayal. You expected results to match effort. You got silence. And it's not the outcome that wrecks you. It's the gap between what you demanded from the world and what the world actually delivered. A sailor who expects calm water is finished the moment a storm hits. A sailor who expects the storm, who's already built for it, just adjusts the sails and keeps moving. Same ocean. Completely different outcome, because one of them stopped negotiating with reality and started preparing for it instead. Start each day assuming things might go sideways, not out of pessimism, but as armor. People might let you down. Plans might collapse. When you expect friction, friction stops being a crisis and starts being Tuesday. Law 5. Turn the fire inward, not outward. Anger, frustration, and pain aren't your enemies. They're raw fuel. The only question is whether you burn down your own house with it or use it to forge something. Uncontrolled, that fire torches everything nearby. You say the thing you can't take back. You burn a relationship. You humiliate yourself. Controlled, that exact same heat becomes a forge. Steel isn't made by avoiding fire. It's made by surviving it and coming out harder. Next time something lights you up, don't swallow it and don't unload it on the nearest person. Redirect it. Got rejected? Let that fuel the next rep in the gym, the next hour at the desk, the next attempt. The emotion isn't the problem. Wasting it is. Law 6. Come back to right now. Count how much of today you've spent inside a scenario that hasn't happened yet. The awkward conversation you're dreading tomorrow. The worst-case outcome you've rehearsed 15 times. None of it is real. All of it is costing you real peace, right now, in the only moment that actually exists. A wild animal facing a real threat has an incredible skill. The second the danger passes, it goes back to grazing like nothing happened. It doesn't lie awake replaying the encounter. Humans are the only creatures that manufacture the danger themselves, days in advance, then live inside it as if it's already happening. When you catch your mind sprinting into the future, pull it back with one blunt question. Is this happening right now? If the answer is no, it doesn't get your attention yet. Whatever it is, it can wait its actual turn. Law 7. Stop renting out your self-worth. Ask yourself honestly, how much of what you do is actually for you, and how much is a performance for an audience you're hoping will clap? The second your sense of worth depends on someone else's reaction, you've handed them the keys to your entire emotional state. Now your mood is a stock price, and everyone else is trading it. A lighthouse doesn't dim because a ship didn't notice it. It doesn't need applause to keep doing its job. It just keeps burning, indifferent to who's watching, because its function was never about being seen. It was about doing what it's built to do. Ask yourself daily, did I act in line with what I actually value? Not. Did people like it? If the answer to the first question is yes, that's the whole scoreboard. Everything else is noise you've been mistaking for a verdict. Law 8. Sit in the room alone. Notice how fast you reach for a screen the second silence shows up. That's not boredom. That's avoidance. Silence isn't empty. It's full of everything you've been outrunning. Doubts, unresolved arguments, questions you don't want to answer. What you refuse to face doesn't disappear. It just waits, and it gets louder the longer you dodge it. A pond that's constantly disturbed never shows you a clear reflection, just noise and ripples. Left alone, it settles, and suddenly you can see straight to the bottom. Your mind works the same way. You can't get clarity while you're constantly stirring the water. Give yourself 10 minutes a day with nothing. No phone, no noise, nothing to perform for. Just sit and let your own thoughts run without chasing or fighting them. It'll feel unbearable at first. That discomfort is the proof you needed it. Law 9. Zoom out before you panic. Whatever's eating you alive right now, ask yourself honestly if it'll matter in a year. Most of the time, you already know the answer. Problems look massive when your face is pressed right up against them. Step back, and the same problem shrinks to its actual size. Nothing about the problem changed. Only your distance from it did. Look at a city from ground level, and it's loud, chaotic, overwhelming. Look at that same city from a plane window, and it goes silent, small, almost peaceful. The city didn't change. Your altitude did. When something spikes your stress, zoom out on purpose. Will this matter in a month? In 5 years? On your deathbed? If not, it doesn't deserve the rent it's currently paying in your head. Evict it. Law 10. Watch the weather. Don't become it. Final law, and it's the one that ties everything together. You are not your anger. You are not your anxiety. You are not whatever emotion is loudest right now. You're the one noticing it happen. The instant you say, "I am angry," you've fused with the emotion. You've become the storm. But the instant you say anger is here, you've created distance. And in that distance is the only real control you'll ever have. Think of the sky. Storms roll through it constantly, some violent, some quiet. But the sky itself is never actually damaged by any of them. It just holds space while the weather passes through and moves on. Your awareness is the sky. Your emotions are the weather. They were never the same thing, even though you've spent your whole life treating them like they are. Practice naming what's happening instead of becoming it. Fear is here. Anger is rising. Doubt is present. That small shift in language is the difference between getting swept away and standing untouched while the storm passes through. You didn't come into this as someone the world could push around. You were trained into that, one unguarded reaction at a time. These 10 laws don't work as information. They only work as practice, repeated until they're instinct. So the choice sitting in front of you is simple. Keep reacting to a world that's counting on you to react, or start responding like someone who's already done the work. Because once your mind is actually trained, nothing out here can touch what's in here.